Summer on the ranch had always been hot, dry, and dusty. That's why I built a pool in the backyard, a simple rectangular blue oasis where my daughter could splash, my wife could relax, and I could cool off after a long day in the fields. But in HOA Karen's world, private property didn't exist. Karen lived across the road, president of the neighborhood HOA. She couldn't see my pool from her house, but the very idea that I had one outside their approved standards drove her insane. She claimed it lowered community property values, even though my ranch wasn't under her HOA jurisdiction. Still, that didn't stop her from marching down my gravel driveway one July afternoon, clipboard in hand, sun visor angled like a general about to inspect her troops. "You need to close this pool," she ordered, pointing at the water as if it were toxic waste. "It's a safety hazard, it violates HOA water guidelines, and it's attracting undesirables." I set my sunglasses down. "Karen, this is my ranch, not your subdivision. The HOA has no say here. This pool is staying open." Her face tightened. "Then I'll have no choice but to involve the authorities." I laughed. "Do what you want. Just don't trespass again." 2 hours later, the flashing lights came down the road. A sheriff's cruiser pulled up with Karen strutting proudly beside it, hands on her hips like she'd already won. "Sir," the deputy said politely, "we got a call about a non-compliant pool situation." I motioned him over and handed him the deed paperwork. "This ranch is not in their HOA. Everything here is up to code. Karen's wasting your time." The deputy studied the documents, then turned back toward her. "Ma'am, this property is outside your HOA's authority. You've got no grounds here." Karen gasped. "You don't understand. Pools are illegal unless the HOA approves them." The deputy shook his head, tipped his hat, and drove off. Karen stood frozen, red-faced, muttering threats as dust kicked up around her. But she made her biggest mistake later that evening. What Karen didn't know was that my wife, Emma, wasn't just my wife. She was a county environmental compliance officer, and a licensed legal adjudicator for property disputes. She had authority not just over water use, but also over how HOAs operated within county limits. When Karen filed her official HOA violation against us, Emma received it directly in her office. She didn't even need to go digging. The frivolous complaint came with Karen's name, signature, and HOA seal. That gave Emma everything she needed. The next week, Emma marched into the HOA's monthly board meeting with a briefcase under her arm. Karen sat at the head table, smug as ever, until Emma laid down the county codebook with a heavy thunk. "Karen," Emma said coolly, "you knowingly filed a fraudulent violation against property outside your HOA jurisdiction. You misused county enforcement resources by calling 911 for a non-emergency. And you attempted to interfere with water rights protected under state law." Karen tried to wave her off. "This is a misunderstanding. He's my husband, she's biased." Emma slid a document across the table. "Bias doesn't matter when the fines are statutory. Under county ordinance, you've earned a penalty of exactly $1 million, payable within 90 days. And until it's paid, your HOA is barred from issuing or enforcing any property complaints." The room went silent. Board members shifted in their seats, suddenly realizing the monster they'd let run wild. Karen stammered, "Why you can't do this?" But Emma just smiled. "I already did." The fallout was brutal. The HOA had to announce that all enforcement was suspended until Karen resolved her fine. Homeowners cheered. Some even threw pool parties of their own, mocking her obsession with mine. Karen tried to rally support, but the board abandoned her, blaming her for nearly bankrupting the association. When the fine notice hit the county records, Karen's reputation collapsed. Realtors whispered. Neighbors laughed. By fall, she put her house on the market. And the pool? Still sparkling, still open. Sometimes on summer evenings, Emma and I float side by side, watching the stars, and I'll tease her, "You could have gone easy on her." Emma always smirks. "I did. I only fined her $1 million. The statute allowed more." Now the only rules that matter are ours, and the only HOA Karen presides over is her memory of the one she lost. Because some people think they can control everything. But the truth is, they can't even control themselves.